So one challenge when you work with a CNC router is how to make what you cut stand out from the wood around it. There's several ways you can do this, but you have to come up with some way to make it contrast with the existing wood. One way I've done that in the past is basically you just stain the wood beforehand, and then as you cut away, you just expose unfinished wood and you leave it at that natural color. So in this instance, I've stained the entire board, cut it out, cut away, I exposed all this natural colored wood, and then I just clear coat over top of it to preserve it. So that's one way you can do it. And it works fairly well so long as you have a good contrast between the color on the surface and the color that you actually cut away. So if I were to do this in walnut, it may be a little bit harder to read because even if I put you don't really stain walnut usually. It's hard to darken it more than what it's going to be just naturally. So when you have a situation like that, you have to come up with other ways to do this. Another way I've done this, and you can see on the video I've previously posted where I made the hanging medal display for my son's wrestling medals, is you can put a mask over top of the entire board and then cut away what you want to cut away, leave the mask on, and paint with spray paint, and you can paint in the letters that you just cut out. So that is another way to do that, and it worked well. We did it in that video. You can see we did it with walnut and used a white paint, but people don't always want paint. There's also times where you're going for a different look. So I recently had a customer want a little bit more of a rustic look, and they wanted their cutout to be in walnut. And so I sat there and I was thinking, well, I'm not sure how the best way to do that. I could have painted it black. I've also used epoxy as the contrasting color in the past, but I didn't know that it would look quite right, and this was going to go outside, so you could end up with some UV light issues, and I just didn't want to have any problems. So what I came up with was a different way to make that contrast, and it doesn't involve paint, it doesn't involve stain. And so take a look at this video and you're going to see that there is another way to do it, and it worked quite well. So I hope you enjoy this, and here we go. The cutout is all done. So the next step I want to do is burn these recessed letters in. I'm just going to use a torch and just going to try to darken the letters. It's going to burn the surface as well. I already know that. I did a test piece, and it's unavoidable. But I can always sand the burn part off. And I think I got everything. It's kind of hard to keep track of all the angles you have to hit it from. But you can kind of see it contrasts pretty well with the walnut. Obviously there's a lot of burn around the edge of the letters that will get cleaned off. I'll probably lightly surface plane it and then sand it the rest of the way, just because it's a lot of sanding. I don't want to take too much off of the surface planer because I don't want to lose the detail of the interior part of the letter. Alright, so the planing did a pretty good job at cleaning this up. I have a few little planer marks on here that are definitely going to need to be sanded out. Starting to look like it might be time to change the knives on that thing. I did have a minor issue over here on this S. I had a little bit of tear out on the edge, but it's nothing that the sander can't fix. So as you can see, this technique provides an excellent contrast, especially on a piece of wood such as walnut, where it is a little bit more difficult to reach that contrast that we want. The sign is easy to read from a distance, and the customer was very happy when she saw it. So thanks for watching the video. I hope you learned something out of this, maybe give you an idea of another way to approach the process when you're using a CNC router and not sure what to do to get that contrasted colors. Hopefully it helps, gives you another tool in your belt so that you can meet the needs of each specific project as you go. So if you enjoyed this, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, ring that little bell down there so you get notified when we have new videos. And please, if you have any comments, we'd love to hear from you. Throw it down there in the comment section, and maybe you have some ideas of other ways that this can be done, and I'd love to hear them. So thanks for watching.